about it. Let's talk about it. Before I begin talking about last night's game, let me give y'all some warning here. When you're talking about the NBA regular season, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and you can't really go by wins and loss records early in the NBA season. All right. Today, a team could be on a 4-game losing streak. Tomorrow, they'll be starting an 8-game winning streak. That's how it works in the NBA. You really can't judge a team until about, I say, for me, about 80% of the season. When 80% of the season is complete, then you can judge a team, you can judge the players, and you can pretty much take an educated guess on if this team is going to advance into the postseason. The Los Angeles Lakers, with all that being said, the Los Angeles Lakers lost to the Golden State Warriors, right? And the Los Angeles Lakers lost that game in the fourth quarter. Now, the Golden State Warriors were making a comeback in the second half of the game, but the majority of their damage, can I get through, bro? Can I get through? Thank you. The majority of their damage is on the fourth quarter. And I saw a lot of things in the fourth quarter that if you are a Los Angeles Laker fan, if you are a LeBron James fan, you would have some concerns. Now, when I look at the Los Angeles Lakers, they're young, they're athletic, okay? Their bench is not as deep as it was last season. That's the pros. That's the good. The bad is they lost key players in free agency. I think Dwight Howard would be an asset to the Los Angeles Lakers right about now. I think Rondo will be a great, important asset to the Los Angeles Lakers right now. All right? I feel like just those two components right there is why you're going to have a lot of games like this where the Lakers are going to struggle. Now, a lot of people are going to say, look, it was Martin Luther King Day. Maybe they didn't want to be there. Sort of like the bubble. You know how everybody was talking about how, the bubble was so hard, it was so difficult. It was so hard and so difficult. Nobody wanted to be in the NBA bubble last year. But it's supposed to have been the hardest playoffs. The hardest finals were in the bubble. All right? But that being said, let's get back into the topic. If you are a Los Angeles Lakers fan and if you are a LeBron James fan, you have a lot of doubts and a lot of concerns about the team moving forward, most notably LeBron James. LeBron James normally likes to take 30 minutes a game. Last night, he played 38 minutes. They had a lot of turnovers. Now, a lot of people, more notably Shannon Sharp, kind of excuse LeBron James turnovers, saying, well, he's throwing the ball across court and he's razzling and dazzling with the ball. He's not as cautious with the ball like he was last season, and that's why he had so many turnovers, okay? His efficiency has dropped, LeBron James, but the reason why the Lakers lost has nothing to do with LeBron James. It has more to do with the fact they don't have enough key acquisitions on the roster for moments and games like this. Because in the first place, the Los Angeles Lakers should not allow the Golden State Warriors still in the game. And I kept telling you guys, the Golden State Warriors, they're a pretty good team. They still got Steph Curry. They still got Draymond Green. They got a bevy of players. They're going to be over the 500 mark. And they might be competing for a playoff spot, okay? Because somebody's got to take the Houston Rockets playoff position, because I don't see Houston in the playoffs. Do you? So somebody's going to have to take that spot. And if Sacramento or the Memphis Grizzlies, if it's not their time, then definitely the Golden State Warriors are going to try to take that spot. If you look at what the Phoenix Suns are doing, they're pretty good. Okay, so but let's stay on track. Let's stay focused about the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers lost last night's game because they don't have enough experience and players in depth, and also on the roster, on the starting lineup, to help them to overcome moments, to overcome ball games such as the Golden State Warriors game. All right. I don't think, and I also stated that the Lakers are not as good defensively as they were last year. When you got older veteran players that are not that athletic, they're going to tend to lean on their defensive side to slow the game down, to not make it an up and down the court type of game. LeBron, when you look at his skill set, his skill set fits perfectly for an up and down game. But the players around LeBron are questionable. Montrezl Harrell has still not slowed his defender that he has to defend on the other side. Okay, Dennis Schroeder, he's point, and I feel like they're gonna, I think they're on a 5 or 6 game stretch where they're gonna be out of Staples Center, and I feel like this is time to shine for Dennis Schroeder. I think this is also, they're gonna evaluate during these games, and I feel like they're gonna make some changes, like maybe putting LeBron, depending on their standings and how far they are in the standings. If they drop, if they even drop slightly in the standings, I can see them. I can see the coaching staff going, you know what? Let's put LeBron at the point, all right, and let Dennis come off the bench. Now, basketball strategy-wise, that makes perfect logical sense. Will Kyrie Irving? Okay. Yeah, I don't get your question. Might have to type that over again. Well, Kyrie Irving, I don't get that one. But I can see them allowing LeBron playing the point once again, because that's where they was very successful last year. But with the problem with that is you don't have enough experienced veteran type players on that roster like you did last year to pull it off. All right, you got a lot of younger talented players. Montrezl Harrell, even though no matter how bad I talk bad about him, he's still a talented player. Okay, let's not get it twisted or confused. Dennis Schroeder is still a talented player. Now, by putting LeBron, will Kyrie Irving be? No. Kyrie Irving will not be traded. Okay? I don't know where that's coming from, but Kyrie Irving's not going to be traded. I talked about it in yesterday's live stream why I feel Kyrie Irving's not going to be traded. I will do a video maybe later on this week explaining it once again in detail why he won't be traded. All right? But as far as this discussion, I feel like they should put LeBron at the point like they did last year. Let Dennis play off the bench. Now, basketball strategy-wise, that makes perfect sense. Strategy-wise. Okay? But as far as it goes for Dennis might be, he might be saying, look, I've been down this path before with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I was starting with the Oklahoma City Thunder, then they traded for Chris Paul, and then they put me on the bench. I don't want to play off the bench. I also played in Dallas that way. Atlanta that way. I played off the bench. Okay, I've done that before. Been there, done that. I don't want to do that again. Dennis feels like he's a starting point guard in the NBA. That's how he feels. All right, but it makes perfect logical sense because you got your smartest player and the player who really don't need a lot of tread on that tire, LeBron James. And then by allowing LeBron James to run the point, he slows the offense down, meaning they become they play a half court game, and players such as Montrezl Harrell is going to benefit from LeBron James being at the point. Anthony Davis, if you've been noticing, Anthony Davis has struggled a bit. He's not the same Anthony Davis he was last year. And part of the reasoning is LeBron is not at the point, because LeBron would force feed Anthony Davis the ball. Dennis is not doing that. And that's a problem because they've been winning. So it's a big deal to them. But if they continue to dip, and if they continue to go into a funk, and if they continue to lose a lot of ball games, I can see the Lakers organization saying, you know what, let's stick with what worked with us last year, having LeBron at the point. All right. And yeah, Dennis is going to be upset, but I feel like strategy-wise, Dennis can play with the second team, and Dennis can come off the bench, and he can just be simply Dennis. He don't have to be conservative. He doesn't have to fit in a mold of a traditional point guard, because really, he's a two disguised as a one. Dennis Scrotum is a shooting guard. He's not a point guard. He doesn't set people up. Now he can assist. He has court vision, but when you look at talent-wise, skill set-wise, he's more of a shooter than a traditional point guard. All right then. LeBron, they need to put him back on the point, slow the offense down, play a half-court game, force feed Anthony Davis the ball, and then you will see a quick turnaround with the Lakers. And I think that's what they need to go ahead and do. But I feel like the coaching staff is keeping it this way for a lot of reasons. One, they don't want to make Dennis upset, because Dennis could sign a contract and stay with the Lakers, or he can go into free agency and go elsewhere and hope to be a starting point guard. And that's one of those things that's one of the reasons why they haven't done it yet. Two, LeBron James, they want to keep his minutes down to 30 minutes, well, 25. In a perfect world, they're not going to tell you guys this. They would love to play LeBron around 20 to 25 minutes a game, and sit him down while they have the lead. They will, in a perfect world, they would love to have LeBron do that. But realistically, they know he probably is going to have to play 30 minutes a game. Last night he played 38 minutes. The longer he stayed in there, you got to see old man LeBron. Okay, LeBron is not a spring chicken no more. He's not young anymore. So he needs to conserve his time, conserve his body, and save it for the postseason. So the Lakers are in this balancing act. They're trying to please players such as Dennis Scrotum, because they want to sign him eventually to a long-term contract. Montrezl Harrell has a lot to prove. This is a contract year for Montrezl Harrell. If he does not have a great season this year, then he's either going to take that second year with the Lakers or sign for less money elsewhere. Okay, LeBron is getting older. Anthony Davis is really when Anthony Davis was great with the Lakers is when LeBron James was the featured point, when we was featured at the point position. That's better for LeBron. That's even excellent for Anthony Davis. And they have lost a lot of valuable, experienced, veteran players such as Rondo. They don't have a closer. That's the problem with the Lakers. They do not have a closer. I know a lot of people are going to say in the comment section, well, LeBron's a closer. LeBron's a closer. LeBron can be a closer, but he really is a player that gets everyone involved. He's a facilitator. He's not a closer. He can be a closer in some moments, but you need someone that you know for a fact is going to be your closer. He needs a Dwayne Wade with the Los Angeles Lakers. He needs a Kyrie Irving for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's what you always hear talk and speculation of them somehow trading and getting Bradley Beal. But they don't have enough pieces or picks to make that trade happen. So the Los Angeles Lakers, they got a lot of explaining to do. I feel like this road trip is going to really determine the future of the Lakers. Are they going to keep Dennis at the point? If they lose 2 or 3 games in this road trip, I expect them to say, you know what, let's go back to what really worked, okay? LeBron, you go back to the point. Dennis, you got to play off the bench, all right? And go from there, all right? They know Montrezl Harrell, whatever Montrezl Harrell can get them is a bonus, all right? Dennis can get you 20 points. You can still lose a game, all right? So you got 2 young athletic players that when they come off the bench, they can contribute and get points while your stars are resting. They have proven to do that in their in their career. So I don't see how that's not changing, right? So that's what's going on. And like I always say to you guys, the regular season is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can't go by what you see right now because it's an illusion. It's a mirage, because teams that are losing today will be on winning streaks tomorrow. All right? Teams that are on losing streaks today, teams that are on winning streaks today, they can be on losing streaks tomorrow as well. And like I said, I feel like after 80% of the regular season is complete, then you can determine whether or not who's going to the postseason and who's not. Okay? But I still feel like the Lakers are still going to go to the postseason. But they're going to have some turbulence in the postseason. It's going to be a tough out. They got I don't know how they match up well with the Phoenix Suns. They haven't played them yet, I don't believe. They played the Golden State Warriors. The Clippers, they lost to the Clippers. You know, so just those 3 teams right there. And then the Dallas Mavericks, they got a thing to prove. And then we haven't even talked about the teams on the East. Okay, what about the Philadelphia 76ers? What about the Boston Celtics can give them a run or 2. All right, the Milwaukee Bucks, we haven't seen that dynamic. And the Brooklyn Nets, that's the team to beat. All right, so everybody is trying to compete with the Brooklyn Nets. Everybody's trying to, the contending teams are trying to figure out ways to either tweak the offense or get other players. That's why you hear all these trade speculations about Bradley Beal going to the Lakers. Okay, so that's all I got for today. But like I said, this can go either way, and I feel like after that road, they're going to be on the road, and if they lose at least 2 or 3 games on the road, I can see them making changes then. All right, and then I can see a moment in time where they'll possibly let LeBron go back to the point position and let him force feed the ball to Anthony Davis. I feel like that's the only way Anthony Davis is efficient, is when LeBron is at the point and he's force feeding the ball to Anthony Davis. It becomes a half-court game. you know, and you have the players there to play a half court game. All right. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But it's your boy. I'm up out of here, y'all. Deuces, guys. Deuces. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Okay. All right. I was gonna try to read that last, but I can't pull it up. But yeah, well, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. It's your boy. Didn't get no thumbs up love while I was live, but if you watch the rerun of this, be sure to hit that like button, share my content with your friends, family, and followers. uh I'll talk to you guys on the next video, and I'll see you guys later. Deuces.